The college football experience, Eastern Michigan Eagles 2023 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by old Bird Dog Shorts. Yes, dominate the summer with an amazing pair of shorts and a free Yeti-style tumbler when you order over at birddogs.com/pool. Once again, that is birddogs.com/pool. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome. Welcome to the college football experience, Eastern Michigan Eagles 2023 season preview. Hopefully you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience, because I am rocking my Eastern Michigan t-shirt. Look, perhaps you're wondering just who the hell you're listening to. Well, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. I would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Yes, I'm excited. These are, this team is near and dear to my heart. When you're talking Maction, hopefully listen to our Maction episodes when November comes around. I'm an EMU guy. Home is where the heart is, they say. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh.
Let's get it going, buddy. Let's get it going. You're talking about a program that is really on the come up, Patty C. And that is because Chris won Creighton.
Making things happen. Gotta be the winningest coach in program history at this point, I would think.
He is I'm surprised he's not, we saw Leipold go to Kansas. Surprised Creighton just sitting out there. Seems like, hey, UVA goes, let's get Tony Elliott here. Let's all these others. It's like Chris Creighton's just winning games over here.
Well, let me tell you what. Unfortunately for the fan base, it doesn't register that winning 7 games at a very terrible,
he won
situation.
9 last year, buddy.
Well, he did, and so last year, boom, now he's on the radar. He's got it. He should be, especially at Eastern Michigan. But before that, it's just not registering on most people's radars how good of a job he's been doing. But when
I hear there's rumors on the internets.
When you talk about, this team since 1990, prior to his arrival, which was 24 years, a single winning season at 6-5. I'm looking at their head-to-head matchups against all other schools. They don't have more than a 2-game lead on any school. And that's like 4 schools. They basically have a losing record against every team they've ever played.
Well, Creighton's bringing them out of the woodworks, man. You hear that?
Boom.
That's Chris Creighton's Eagle.
They have maybe the best. We're going to talk about this later. One of the best fields in college football.
Oh, 100%. And the USFL, as much as we enjoy it, we host the USFL Gambling Podcast. Subscribe. But they dropped the ball because they played at that stupid roller rink in Detroit called Ford Field. And they could have played at the Factory, a.k.a. Rynearson Field.
Yeah.
That stadium's awesome. It looks like you're watching an Army-Navy game out of 1940.
Yeah.
Right? But also, it's just better. It's just a better football stadium. Football is meant to be outdoors.
You know what they need to somehow do? Make it gray, but play on natural grass.
Yeah.
Paint the grass gray before.
Just like I did with my ECU shirt, man.
Yeah.
Just paint
You just paint it every day.
That's what I'm saying. You get tackled, you might get a little high. Smell that spray paint.
Hey. We all sniffed a little paint in our day. Come on.
I would just assume that everyone's sniffing glue in Ypsilanti. But I'm excited to talk all about Eastern Michigan because I really believe, and Patty, see, we're going to get into this, but Before we do that, I want to tell you folks out there that the Eastern Michigan Eagles 2023 season preview episode is brought to you by Bird Dog Shorts. Bird Dogs make you look good. Oh, it's like hiring Chris Creighton. It's going to make you look good, all right? So that athletic director, he might have been wearing Bird Dogs when he hired Chris Creighton because something was done right.
Something was cool.
Yeah. Bird Dogs are stretch khaki shorts. They're designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and leg area, giving you a truly sculpted look. You're going to look like Samson Evans when you put these things on, all right?
Bold statement.
Look, Bird Dog shorts, they fit way better than regular shorts. Regular shorts are made of stiff, restricting cotton. Bird Dogs fixed this issue by inventing cloud knit fabric that looks just like khakis, but stretches so you get a way slimmer fit without having to sacrifice all that movement. And Bird Dog uses anti-stink sweat wicking fabric that keeps you cool and dry all day long, all right? And smelling all right. Go to birddogs.com/pool and enter the promo code POOL. That's POOL for a free Yeti-style tumbler. Just going to give you a tumbler in here. That's birddogs.com/pool for a free Yeti-style tumbler. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off. We can promise you that. All right, Patty C, we are back on the college football experience. Eastern Michigan Eagles 2023 season preview. Patty C, this is a school, so not only – this is why I thought maybe he would pop up on their map, is because he has wins, I think pretty much every year except the COVID year because they didn't play anyone outside of their conference. Rutgers. He won at Rutgers. He won at Illinois. He won at Purdue. And last year he won at Arizona State. He also beat Coastal Carolina not that long ago. They had a 4-point loss against Pitt in a bowl game, a 4-point loss at Kentucky not that long ago, and a 3-point overtime loss at San Diego State. I mean, he's got these guys, and that's one of the things that's most impressive about him is even in the losses. I know you could say, well, he's 46-61 in 9 years. It's not a great. It's an unbelievable record at Eastern Michigan. First off,
Yeah.
Then you look, and they're one of these teams that's going to play. So they're going to probably blow out 2 to 3 teams every year, right?
Yeah.
And they'll probably lose 1 game a year by double digits. The rest, let me just rattle. Check us out. He played 7 one-score games in 2016. So he was there. His first year was 2014. 14 and 15, they were ass. He was building it, right? 16 when they really turned the corner. So they went 5-2 in one-score games in 2016, right?
Yeah.
So 7 one-score games in 16. 9 in 2017, right? They went 3-6 in those. They didn't make a bowl that year, right?
I mean, this sounds like your typical progression.
Yeah.
Lose big, lose close, win close, and now they're at maybe win big here.
6-1 in close games a year ago.
Nice.
My point is that even this is what you got to be
We're
happy.
at stage 3 in that process. Now we're at win close.
Yes.
You know what's next?
Yes. MAC championship.
Win big, baby.
Well, Patty C, my point is though, is it as an if you're an EMU fan, you got to just be like, hey, we're in every game. Normally, one clunker, and sometimes that's when you're playing a P5, right?
Yeah.
But in MAC play, you're either winning or you're in the game with 5 minutes left, and that to me is unbelievable considering how bad this program was 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, they were trash. Let's be honest.
And this guy's won everywhere he's been, Chris Creighton. He won when he was at Ottawa College in Kansas, 32-9. When he went to Wabash with the Little Giants there. No, I'm not talking about the Ed O'Neill, Al Bundy movie. He went 63-15 at Wabash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then he goes to Drake, 44-22 in the Pioneer League. This is a fucking guy who knows how to win, dude.
I'll tell you what. He is currently number 3 all-time on the overall wins list on Eastern Michigan's coaches. 4 wins behind Fred Trosco, which we expect him to surpass this year and become number 2 on the list behind Elton Rynearson himself.
There we go. Creighton Field. Let's just call it
one day.
Creighton Field.
Creighton Field is going to happen.
Let's go. Let's talk about the portal though, because we grade the portal for each and every one of these teams because it's so huge in college football these days. Well, first off, big loss. Darius Lassiter, they're one of their better wideouts over the past few years. I know from DFS. He's gone to BYU, getting some of that Provo money. Also running back Darius Boone, who, if you played DFS over the years, he was a good running back. He's in the portal too. Now he hasn't landed anywhere, but that's a name that stands out to me as a substantial loss, even though they have Samson Evans. Cornerback Corey Thomas, quarterback Aaron Jackson to Robert Morris. This one was huge. Offensive tackle, left tackle Marcellus Johnson, Missouri, and the SEC money comes in and plucks him out of the tight end Cole Rusk, linebacker Bryson Huddleston, cornerback Isaiah Watson, wide receiver Ishawn Stewart, wide receiver Dennis Smith. But the real substantial ones, I think, are Lassiter, Boone, and Johnson. Patty C. Those are big losses because that's three guys that are just known commodities on this team.
I mean, this team, they are transfer portal fodder, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, for a guy like Creighton,
but the question is why? If you watch the NFL draft, they had two guys drafted this past year in City So at the guard spot, and then Jose Ramirez, who lit the MAC on fire.
As the first time since 1977 they had two guys drafted. So,
but if you look back 2019, Max Crosby, they're doing something right now. Over the past few years, they've really started to. It was Pat O'Connor in 17, running back Darius Jackson, in 16. So those are all Creighton guys. He's starting to get guys drafted, and Max Crosby's a superstar in the NFL.
You got a point there, man. I mean, Max Crosby is solid. And then you're right. 2016, 17, 19, and 2 in 2023. Prior to that, only a couple draft picks since 1980.
Well, and some of those don't get credited. They transferred out and then they went to the pros. You know what I mean? So they get credited by their last destination, not who built them.
Yeah, and now that's happening more to Creighton than ever.
But I would say, why not stay there? We talked about NIL money. Charlie Batch is he's involved with a NIL collective to get some players paid in old Ypsilanti. Let's go.
I'll tell you what, this is the type of guy that, for whatever reason hasn't gotten the opportunity and the look from outside schools, or maybe he's the kind of guy that's just going to stay there. And if he is that kind of guy and he's building this thing up, the problem with MAC coaches is as soon as they get good, they get plucked.
Urban Meyer, Nick Saban. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You might have heard a few of them. But
Lance Leipold.
If Creighton stays around, maybe he raises Eastern Michigan into a legendary program. We know damn well that won't happen. Someone's going to give this guy a crack eventually.
Yeah. So, look, they lost those guys in the portal that I alluded to. Lassiter, Johnson, and Boone. 3 productive guys. They lost more than that, but those 3 stand out as substantial losses. They bring in, though, offensive tackle Owen Snively from Colorado State. They also bring in offensive lineman Chris Mayo from West Virginia and a JUCO transfer in the offensive line in Dan Sunderman. Then they bring in 2 wide receivers, Terry Lockett from Michigan State and wide receiver Javon Swinton from Indiana, who's penciled in to be a starter and had over 33 catches with the Hoosiers a season ago. So,
no stranger to Big Ten quality defenses. You got to like that.
I kind of think that I know Lassiter was a commodity, and I know the left tackle Johnson that's huge to lose, but you're bringing in 3 Power 5 players, a Colorado State offensive tackle, and a JUCO, which who knows how good that Sunderman will be, but the JUCO ranks does give us gems time and time again. Do you think they won or lost the portal, Patty C?
I mean, it sounds like they did a pretty good job plugging it up, but it is tough to say. I would say losing players like that on the offensive line and, losing City Sow, the offensive lineman to the Patriots through the draft. Yeah. Maybe they take a step back. But West Virginia, we said, was one of the linemen they brought in.
Yeah. So
now, the Indiana guy was a
wideout. Wideouts from Michigan State and Indiana.
Okay. There you go.
Offensive lineman from Colorado State, which Steve Adazio, recruit. He knows how to coach the offensive line.
That's true.
Chris Mayo at West Virginia, and then Sunderman from the JUCO ranks.
I mean, I feel like Creighton probably is building his roster. And real quick, I'll dive into recruiting, how well he's done there. 6 years ago, they were 122, and then 107, 97. They dropped back to 128, but then the last 2 cycles, I guess 2023 and 24, 84 and 87. He seems to be getting the talent in the door, like you said, maybe dangling the NFL potential in front of players.
Yeah, development has been really key there.
I'd say he's probably. I'm confident that he's going to bring the talent in he needs to keep this thing going.
Yeah. So I would say, let's talk about the offense, because offensive coordinator, they have 2 OCs in Mike Piatowski and Sean Coughlin. Not Tom Coughlin, Sean Coughlin. I wonder if they might have a what did I say? Phil Walsh on the is Phil Walsh coaching? Is maybe they have a Phil Parcells and a
who's the defensive coordinator?
Phil Belichick. They got Phil Belichick. They just got guys just coaching names, lineage. Yeah,
close but no cigar.
It's like we can't get Tom Coughlin. Oh, this guy's name's Sean Coughlin. Let's hire him. All right. Maybe some fans will get confused and buy more season tickets. Perhaps. All right. Either way, they're not doing a terrible job. They were 54th in the nation scoring offense a season ago, Patty C.
Yeah, and I think there is continuity there. The publications and even their website seems to be a little confused about who the actual offensive coordinator is. But
we fixed the glitch, right? We fixed the
it's someone. Yeah. Someone's calling the plays.
82nd in rush offense, 75th in pass offense, total offense 87th. Okay. Quarterback situation that they got a brand new quarterback sort of. Austin Smith penciled in to be the starter. I know they still have the Cincinnati transfer backing him up, but Smith did end up finishing the Arizona State game, which is huge. They won in Tempe, and that's one of those bye games where they flew out to Arizona and they paid him like $2 million to play, and then they come back home with that bag of cash
and the dub.
You gotta like that. He also started another game, but he got knocked out of it. I believe it was the Kent State game. How do we feel about Austin Smith coming back?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little tough, right? We did not a huge sample size, but I can tell you this: I believe in Creighton's eye for offenses, but specifically.
No, so how do they do? They were the 82nd rushing offense, the 75th passing offense. Somehow
Taylor Powell gone. He was good. Troy transfer, but it's just plug and play. It seems like Ben Bryant the year before. It seems like just plug and play, right?
I mean, those aren't outstanding numbers in the from an offensive production standpoint, but they traditionally under Creighton have kind of been a ball control kind of team.
Yeah,
not cranking out explosive offenses, but winning close games more recently.
Yeah. Well, let me talk to Samson Evans because he is back at running back, and this guy's a fucking beast. One of the best running backs in the MAC, I think you could say. I know,
first team preseason all conference.
And Carson Lexington Steele, our pal, he's out now in LA in Westwood, but
kindred spirits.
Yeah,
both beasts. Now, Evans was a Iowa transfer.
You gotta love that. I know you love that, right?
Dude, there's something about his aesthetic. The number 22, the green and gray. I don't know. It's
a good look.
And
it's
the
good
power
look,
back,
man.
it's beautiful.
On that sweet ass gray turf.
Yeah.
So Austin Smith, like I said, pencil started. Evans is back, and then star wideout. And you've played. Look, if you listen to our Tuesday Action episodes or our DFS episodes in general, when college football season comes around, Tanner Knue is a fucking beast at wide receiver. I've rostered this guy on some winning rosters, so he's back. So look, you might be breaking in a new quarterback. And I know your offensive line took a hit, but like having Samson Evans and Knue back are huge. And then you bring in those two Big Ten wideouts in the portal. I think the offense has potential if Smith can be good to be really
nice
solid.
Weapons to walk into there.
They get 2 of 5 back on the offensive line though. They bring back the right side, right guard Alex Howie and right tackle Brian Dooley. We'll see how the transfers pan out because that's kind of the question mark here. Offense, for your offense is the O-line and quarterback play. But like to me, if you win at Arizona State, you kind of got something there a little bit. But what do you make of the offense, Patty C? You think it will be similar or will it be improved? Will it regress?
Well, I mean, statistically, it's funny because they were a much better scoring offense than they were a yardage offense. So maybe the defense gave them some short fields to work with, and they were able to convert with that. But I think they're going to be serviceable. I think we're going to have to expect the same thing. When the strength of your team is your running attack, you're going to rely on ball control. But you're right, the explosive receivers that they seem to have, maybe things open up a little bit.
Well, defensively, they were pretty solid last year for Ben Needham's defense here. He's the DC there. 84th in scoring defense, 73rd in rush defense, 56th in pass defense, 65th in total defense. I mean, look, I know you rattle off and say, "Oh, that's for the MAC, that's good." I bet you that's one of the better MAC defenses.
Well, when you consider that they play a lot of tough non-conference games sometimes and just get routed, and their statistics get completely skewed based off that.
1 of 4 back on the D line. Concerning, because Jose Ramirez is in the NFL. He had 12 sacks a season ago. Can they? They're gonna have someone step up and fill that void.
Jose Ramirez ain't walking through that door, Colby.
Jose Ramirez getting it done. But how about this though? They bring back pretty much everyone else. Yes, 7 back on defense, and the entire linebacking core, and 3 of 4 in the secondary, led by TJ Peavy. The linebacking core with Chase Klein and Joe Sparacio, they're good and they're back. And, I know they got the corner, Kempton Shine. That is a very good corner. Kicker and punter are back on special teams. Patty C. Like, if the defensive line, I know you losing 12 sacks is fucking huge, but I think the defense could be or at least the same, if not better. I think the defensive side of the ball is going to be better than the offensive side of the ball. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that.
Well, yeah. 6 to 7. We pretty routinely say that if you want to bring back experience, you usually want it on the defensive line first. Now they bring back 1 out of 4 on the defensive line, 6 out of 7 on the back 7. But still, when you bring back 7 players on the defense, you think you're going to improve usually, right?
Yeah, and I know Peyton Price at the nose tackle spot is the guy they're excited about. So maybe he's the next NFL player there.
Well, no matter what, Chris Creighton has been improving his on-field product as evidenced by the win totals year to year. And this number right here seems pretty attainable at first glance based on that 9-4 record last year.
Yeah, so we're going to talk all about it. We're going to go game by game on the Eastern Michigan football schedule. But before we do that, I gotta tell you that the college football experience Eastern Michigan preview is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Best Ball Mania is here, and Underdog Fantasy is giving away $15 million in prizes. Yes, Underdog Pick'em is also a great way to get down on some of your favorite MLB player props. Also, when college football season comes around, we load up. They have great player props for college football players. There's so many ways to win with Underdog, and it's active in so many different states. Head over to UnderdogFantasy.com. Use that promo code SGPN for 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Once again, that's UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code SGPN. All right. We are back. Patty C, I'm excited for Friday, ESPN, September 1st. There's only 5 or 6 games on Friday. We get to dive into the Bison of Howard out of Washington, D.C. when they come up to Ypsilanti.
This will be a crushing.
Yes, Eastern Michigan takes down Howard 1-0. And by the way, if you're watching on YouTube right now, youtube.com/thecollegeexperience, you see the win total. By the way, shout out to Cam Kerr, our graphics guy. 6.5 is the win total, Patty C. Just that in its own right, it's like Creighton's doing an amazing job. Yeah. So
if you're expected to go bowling.
Yeah,
you're doing a dang good job.
1-0, right? Now comes the most interesting.
If you have a bad year and you're still expected to go bowling, if you underperform and are still expected to going, you're doing a damn good job, Chris Creighton.
Now comes the most interesting one, because I mentioned the past, I think COVID being the only year, I think 5 straight years, they've beaten a Power 5, right? Minnesota opens the season on a Thursday night primetime against Nebraska. I expect him to beat Rule in his first game. So they'll be flying high. And then we saw Minnesota. When was it last year they lost to Bowling Green, or 2 years ago?
I think it was 2. But I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to double.
I'm checking right now. No, I think it was 2 years ago. I think you're right. But this is look. He's proven this. And by the way, that team that won 9 games for Minnesota 2 years ago, 9-4, they beat Miami, Ohio by 5 points, and then they lost to Bowling Green by 4. Both were in Minneapolis, Patty C. So watch Fleck. He's a MAC guy. Played at Northern Illinois, coached at Western Michigan.
Is he undefeated against Creighton at this point? I'd have to assume so.
Probably because he was early on.
Started to rise a little earlier. Yeah.
What's going on here? You taking EMU? You got any cojones?
No, I'm not going into Minneapolis and getting this W. But
I think it's possible.
If they sit here and pound this rock, I mean, we haven't done the Minnesota preview yet, so I have to get more information on them. But if they're not this is early in the season.
Minnesota's replacing Tanner Morgan and Mohamed Ibrahim. I'm just saying.
Those are not small
Just
pieces.
saying. Just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, let's take Minnesota because they'll be favored. But
Sure.
1-1.
Yeah.
Now Don Brown comes back to the scene of the crime. Used to coach in Michigan to take on Eastern Michigan, trying to get into Detroit.
Not getting it done.
Eastern Michigan beat UMass last year. They're going to do it again this year.
Yeah, what was the score last year?
Actually, UMass got up early. Dude, they had to come back.
20-13. Okay.
No. It was like, I feel like it was 13-0.
Wow.
And then Eastern Michigan had to score 20 unanswered.
Well, Donnie Brown's no slouch of a coach, and maybe I want to say typically year 2 is when he starts to turn it around. Look out. I still got Eastern Michigan.
I do
here.
too. So especially because it's in September. If it was later in the year, I'd worry more.
Yeah.
2-1, and then they head down to take on your boy Rich Rod.
Now this is one that I feel like is going to be hotly contested the week of. I'm going to be talking shit because
Yes.
Rich Rod, whatever. He's a much more, famous coach, I guess I could say. But I feel like he gets shit on by the general public for stupid reasons a lot of the time.
Yeah.
He's underrated in my opinion.
Hold on. So Eastern Michigan at Jacksonville State for the audience. This is it, in Jacksonville, Alabama. They're brand new to the FBS this year, but just a couple years ago won at Florida State.
Yeah.
So I mean, Zion Webb is their quarterback.
And that
He's
was
back.
before Rich Rod got there. Now you're bringing in a coach that's proven it at a bunch of places.
Zion Webb's a Clemson transfer. So hey, watch out.
Look out, indeed.
What are you doing here?
I'm going fucking Gamecocks.
I think I am too.
Wow,
dude, they're a legit.
Yeah,
they're a legit team. So I got 2-2, and then they head to Kelly Short Stadium, your favorite name of a stadium, and to take on CMU. This game is gigantic. Like
the effing Titanic.
Yes, and
too soon. But.
And what do you got going here in Mount Pleasant?
What did they do last year against Central Michigan?
I think they whooped their ass.
They beat them 38-19 at home.
But this is a tricky one.
Back-to-back road.
And it is back-to-back road. And also Central Michigan, I think it's going to be a lot better this year. But Central Michigan's coming off a trip down to South Alabama. Both these Michigan schools going down to Alabama to play some ball.
Going down to Dixie. Wait, who's Central Michigan's coach?
Jim McElwain.
McElwain, that's right. He's getting that thing turned around.
Yeah.
I'm going Creighton here.
I am too.
Both got them 3-2.
3-2 in September. Then they are taking on Ball State at the factory here in Ypsilanti. No Carson Steele's we alluded to. I think they get that done.
Yep.
I got them 4-2, Patty C.
Yep. And then
Kent State, who I think is going to be one of the worst teams in college football this year because they lost to everybody. So
at Rynearson,
I will move to 5-2.
I agree. Although 4-3 seems like it would be likely at this point, but on a game-by-game basis, 5-2 is where I have them as well.
Then they head to DeKalb. DeKalb.
I always silenced the L before assuming.
I don't know. We get like
Kalb.
10 iTunes reviews saying I can't. This guy's it's a good show, but that idiot doesn't know how to say DeKalb.
I feel like Midwesterners aren't capable of silent letters. They just very salt of the earth people. Whatever. They're not fancy like that.
So who are you taking here against Thomas Hammock up in Husky Stadium on October 21st?
Well, you always are talking about how live of an environment Husky Stadium
I think it's one of the harder places to catch a dub.
I think by now they're due their third loss, so I'm going to hand it to them.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Now, here's where it gets interesting.
Now, Western Michigan, but they're in year one of their new coach coming in. And I think Eastern Michigan just way ahead of them.
22-point win on the road against Western Michigan last year for Eastern Michigan. Coming back home.
Yep.
That's a W.
Yep. So that puts me at
6-3.
6-3. They get a bye week before Maction Wednesday starts. And this game is huge. This game might decide the MAC championship.
Now, I hate to tell you this, Cole, but I think I finally settled on my team in the MAC.
Oh, and it's the Rockets.
The Rockets.
Oh man, the Toledo Rockets. You are a Saban guy, right?
Don't put that on me.
Well, man. So I gotta take Toledo though. I think Toledo's just better right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be a magic.
That's a great
Wednesday night game.
Action game on Wednesday, November 4th.
I mean, for as great as the factory is, the Glass Bowl is freaking excellent. also.
6-4. Then they're hosting the Akron Zips. I'll move to 7-4. That cashes the over.
No, we were very high on
Joe Moorhead. And I think it's a dangerous spot because that's going to be towards year 3 to him.
Yeah.
So it is a very dangerous game. I'll put it like this.
I guess you can call that a short week coming from a Wednesday to a Tuesday.
Not usual, but then they're at Buffalo. So I'll put it like this. I think they're capable of winning both. I'll have them going 1-1, but that will put them at 7-5, and I'm on the over.
Yeah.
Patty C, you agree?
I agree.
We're both on the over. The overs are starting to fly off the shelves, folks.
Now, I would say that when you're only a half game over, it's hard to feel very confident, and I don't feel extremely confident.
Be 8-4.
Yeah, I think I'm fairly confident they get to 7. I think.
I mean, there's some games there that are 50-50. Like, the Central Michigan game's kind of scary to me, but they could also beat Northern Illinois and DeKalb.
They could beat Jacksonville State. We're handing them a loss there.
They could beat Minnesota. They beat what? How many? I said 4 straight years of beating a Power 5.
Yeah.
So it's possible that
Creighton is no stranger to this game.
They might go undefeated. No, I'm joking. But what's the game what would be the top 2 games you're most excited to watch, Patty C?
Well, it's pretty straightforward for me. Jacksonville State game.
Yep.
It's very cool matchup there. Very different styles. Chris Creighton, a pounded out kind of guy. Rich Rodriguez, a high
speed.
Yeah.
That's what I worry about. Those athletes, the speed. I don't know if Eastern Michigan has that speed.
I mean, that for folks in Big Ten country, which obviously the MAC is, they are very well aware of the Southern speed. So coping with that is always difficult, but I think Creighton may be able to do it. But the other one, obviously, Toledo, baby.
Yeah, Wednesday, November 8th. Highlight those games.
Yeah.
Of course, the Minnesota game's interesting to me to watch as well.
Yeah, you pull that upset.
Yeah.
The whole season's a win.
Yeah. There we go, folks. So I'm on the over. Patty C's on the over. And look, before we get out of here, I got Michael Barker here to talk about his travels to the factory in Ypsilanti. I did a little interview with him. So without any further ado, here is Michael, a.k.a. College Football Campus Tour. Joining us on the Eastern Michigan Eagles 2023 college football season preview is Michael Barker, a.k.a. College Football Campus Tour. Folks, you need to be following his Twitter account on Twitter at CFB Campus Tour because the guy goes to every single game. I feel like if you're watching Maction on a Tuesday, Wednesday night, there's like a 90% chance he's at the games, I feel like. Look, we're talking Eastern Michigan football, Michael, and Rynearson Stadium. Is that what it is? Am I pronouncing that correctly?
You are pronouncing it correctly. Rynearson Stadium. Yes, Maction. These are the games that are going to be on national TV. A traveler like me loves to get the Tuesday, Wednesday games going in November. You can hit 15 games in 19 days. And if you double up on a Saturday for 3 weeks straight, you can do 18 and 19 games. So it's the best time of the year. Rynearson opened in 1969. It had 15,000 seats. Since then, it's doubled. It's named after their former coach, Elton Rynearson, who coached Eastern Michigan for 26 years, nicknamed the Factory. What we know it best for is its gray turf. It was installed in 2014. And in 2018, they built a $20 million athletic center in the north end zone. So it's come a long way in the 50 plus years that it's been around.
Yes, and as far as I'm concerned, out of all the colored turf out there, this is the best one. It is the best one because it feels like you're watching a football game back in the 1940s. And I see they used to host the Detroit Wheels of the original World League in the 70s here. Look, I know the USFL was talking about playing their games there and said they went to Ford Field, which they don't have fans show up anyway. It's a brand new league. I don't understand why you would choose a gigantic venue like this. I think this one's perfect. Tell me about your experiences, though. What games did you go to?
So I've been to 2 games. One was a Tuesday night action game in 2021. The one that was most memorable for me was actually in 2018. They beat Akron 27-7. And it was part of a doubleheader. I went to that game at noon and then drove, I think it was about 2.5 miles to Notre Dame playing Florida State. And Florida State got thrashed. It was like 52-10. But it's, for a traveler, you're trying to come up with ways to maximize your trips. And normally you're not going to use a Maction game on a weeknight, but to get a doubleheader, a big victory by EMU, and then get a bucket list place like Notre Dame, it was a great experience.
Oh, it sounds amazing, man. I got to get over there to like For some reason, out of all the MAC schools, I like Eastern Michigan the most. Even as a kid, when they were terrible in the 90s and the late 80s and stuff, they were a really bad program. And I still, something about them, me and my brother would catch these MACtion games going on. They hadn't done Tuesday, Wednesdays yet. It was more so Thursdays. But back then we were like, hey, we got to choose a team in the MAC. And I was like, okay, Eastern Michigan's my team. So I really want to get to the stadium. I got some T-shirts at the house, Eastern Michigan. I should have been wearing it for this episode. But, yeah, I got to get to a game here. And where does this rank among your MAC experiences? I mean, just, I know I'm kind of hot potatoing you this right now. But is it up there as one of the better ones? Or where would you put this?
I really like the stadium because it's big. It feels big. I mean, 30,000 is one of the bigger stadiums in the MAC. Their sight lines are good everywhere. They have on the roadside bleachers, they have a banner up. It says the factory. And you were talking about having, just this kind of affinity for Eastern Michigan, not being able to explain. Well, the reason they call it the factory, it's the place where the coaches show up every day to help the students become tough. So it's kind of buying into that Detroit, Motor City, come to work, punch the time clock, and they call it like a factory, like you're putting in a shift. So it's just a cool vibe out there. And, anytime you're out in the elements, we've talked about outdoor football, November, to get extra games on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and be able to catch 4 or 5 games in the year. It's fun. So football is meant to be played outdoors, and if you want to battle the elements and take in some good football, this is the place for you.
Amen, man. And don't go to that Ford Field nonsense unless you want to go catch a AC/DC concert or something. I don't know. Just don't. You want to go catch football in Michigan, go here. Go some of the other great stadiums in the state. But look, the curse of Bobby Lane, they talk about this as why the Lions haven't been winning. I would say that they built a dome. And ever since they built a dome, their win percentage went way down. And they're one of many schools, many teams / schools. You can go Syracuse. Their win percentage is down since they built a dome. The Vikings win percentage is down since I did a deep dive on this. All right. So play to your advantages, folks. And I got to get to Rynearson Stadium. Michael, I appreciate you coming on the show. And maybe one of these MACtion wacky Tuesdays or Wednesdays, you'll catch me or we can meet up for a beer at Rynearson Stadium, man.
That sounds like a plan, Colby. Thank you.
You're welcome. There we go. Michael Barker, Patty C. We got to get ourselves up to the factory, man.
The factory. I mean, that was giving me 8 Mile vibes when you were talking about it. Detroit factory job. You're just punching the clock.
Detroit Wheels used to play there back in the day.
You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow, Colby.
Yeah, and Michigan Panthers should probably be playing there. And look, Eastern Michigan, Patty C. Will they be playing for the MAC championship this year? It seems like you might have Toledo. Your Rockets apparently.
Oh gosh,
same division. So they couldn't be playing Toledo
in the MAC. If you're
going
to predict one of the teams to win the championship, you're an ass clown because there's about a fraction of a hair that separates all of the teams in the MAC.
Well, we're both on the over. Hopefully, we're right about that, folks. I'm very excited to watch EMU football always, and you should be too. And subscribe to us. We have the college football experience, the college basketball experience. I know you guys had a Monty Bates last year, just didn't work out. Also, the college baseball experience. We come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. But subscribe to all those feeds. I also host the FCS college football experience, which you should check out. And shout out to Ferris State out there winning. They're in Michigan. They're D2, but we cover them a little bit on the FCS college football experience.
Great
Folks,
uniforms.
Oh, yeah. Really, really, really fly uniforms. They should play. I wish Ferris State should play Eastern Michigan. Let's get them in the MAC. Right?
Can you do that with the D2?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't
Move
think so.
up to the FCS Ferris State. Let's
go. There we go, folks. Get the SGPN app in the App Store and Google Play Store. It's free to download. You get access to all of our picks, podcasts, all that good stuff, content, interviews, all that good stuff. You got to check it out. And also make sure you, hop in the Discord and talk college football with us on those wacky MACtion Tuesdays and Wednesdays, or just in general. We're always talking college football. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. And all right. I mean, I really am excited to watch another year of Chris Creighton.
After year after year, I've been doing this podcast for like 6-7 years now.
Yeah.
I started out laughing at you about Eastern Michigan, and you've been hyping Chris Creighton for so
9
long.
wins last year, buddy.
I'm finally kind of, I'm definitely a fan, but I'm kind of excited actually to see what they can do this year.
Let's go. Let's go, folks. This is the college football experience, Eastern Michigan style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
We can really run and shoot, and you know